to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Tuesday, December 23rd. It's almost Christmas. Some of you are moving on to your title games, and some of you are Josh.
Oh, man. Oh, we had a clip from this show talking about how he was already in the championship.
I so wish we had a Zoom on this camera.
And it was great because the guy who Josh was playing against, he clipped that out, put it in our sleeper chat, and it was great. So now, Mike, you get to play the team that we thought Josh couldn't lose to.
Correct.
What's wild is, Papa Josh, I'm so sorry, and that hurts. It stings. I know you have no picks, and your future is just in jeopardy as a person. But you lost with Puka, right?
Yeah.
I lost with Puka this week to go to a title game against Mike. Like Puka 0 for 2 in this office.
Nope.
1 for 2.
There you
go. All right, there you go.
3.
You no longer have to
Mike
say
and
go
I's,
Bears all the time, Al?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Mike and I's Dino Junior team lost to Puka, so 2 for 4.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mike is moving on in our 2 main leagues. He will try to do what I could not do 3 years ago. The dream, the double championship dream.
And unfortunately, he is not moving on in 3 of our main leagues. He did not go through in our listener league. I am there, so I will be there with.
You must defend our honor.
I will try, Foot Clan, to open up another spot for the listener league. It's gonna take some heavy lifting.
It's Matt, right? Is that who's in the championship game? Is it
yes.
Matt?
It sounds right.
He beat me in the first round, beat Mike in the second round, and faces Jason in the third round.
They say it can't be done.
This could be the most comprehensive, well-earned spot in the listener league ever. Or he could lose to Jason, and another spot will open up for the Foot Clan, which, you guys decide who to root for out there.
I will root for myself.
Well, you certainly will.
Yeah.
And don't you have a streak in Jeopardy here where
I do.
Leagues where you've made title games, you've somehow never lost a title game?
That is a bona fide fact. I have never lost in a title game in my life.
And sometimes you do that.
It feels bad.
Sometimes you make sure by just not getting there.
Yeah. I mean,
in our league of record.
I don't. Yeah, I might not
play.
deserve. But the only time I've ever been this big of like an underdog from a roster standpoint was actually a few years ago in the listener league, playing against the biggest loser, who sent me all sorts of trash talking paraphernalia. Sent me a signed photograph of himself.
How'd that work out?
Sent me white chocolate dipped Oreos. I think that he signed all sorts of stuff. It worked out.
He signed the Oreos?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that wasn't. He wrote on the Oreos. That did not work out well for him in the championship game. It did work out well for him in the fact that he is now around and a friend.
I like it. He's around.
Well, I'm just saying, if he won that game, there would be no relationship here. None.
Well, congratulations to those that moved on. It was a high-scoring affair last night with huge implications. I saw some wild stories on the Twitter sphere. I saw I had a friend of ours, Jason.
Yeah, I know.
Who ended up, they were losing by 0.8, and then the Brock Purdy interception flipped it to where they won and are moving on to the championship. We also had somebody,
which means that if it was Brock he was facing, means he was up by a cajillion, so he should win. The only thing that can't happen is Brock
going 305.
Yeah, goes 305, scores a bajillion points, and then he loses, and then he wins. That's an incredible one.
Another person was losing, and then the final touch by Christian McCaffrey was for -1 yard, and that won them the game. It was insane last night. If you had CMC or Kittle or Jennings or Purdy, you were dancing in the streets. Jonathan Taylor did get into the end zone. Nobody on this planet played Alec Pierce, but if you had
the Stones,
he was back.
Congratulations.
Phillip Rivers going from dink and dunk 44-year-old to pretty darn competent quarterback.
Where was this 200-plus yards last week, Phil?
He had a 5-year warm-up. He needed to warm up a game, but 277-2. It was
the Seahawks are a better defense than San Francisco.
There's no pass rush on San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy week. We had somebody bench Matthew Stafford, was mocked for it from Thursday through Monday afternoon, and then they made the right call by playing Brock Purdy, who outscored Matthew Stafford. I mean, it's fantasy football at its best and worst.
I mean, NFL, the 49ers versus Phillip Rivers and the Colts, 48-27?
Amazing.
What?
And it was a game. If the Colts had
Most of the game,
one stop towards the end and given Phillip a chance.
Very fun game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it
the first half, like Phillip Rivers looked like he couldn't be stopped. It was just like easy peasy, dink and dunk.
I want to be clear about a couple of things. One, it wasn't just Josh that lost. It was also the Falcons. They're co-managers, so they lost together.
Honestly, I'm happier about Matt losing than Josh.
Me too. The other thing I want to remind people is that, like, I just said all that stuff about this game, and I was not in any way trying to talk about or mock Josh, but this is just fantasy football psychology. He ends up he just says, keep twisting that knife. He thought that was all about his loss. I was just recapping the game, which was, in fact, about your loss. But, yeah, fantasy football is painful. This is normally when people quit for a bit.
I quit.
Yeah. Yeah, this is normally.
Thank goodness you heard it. He's out of here.
No,
you pack your things.
That means the Falcons, the only sole manager of that team.
No.
I was talking about his job. Were you talking about fantasy?
Were you talking about fantasy?
Well, we definitely want you to stick around in that league.
Whoever does the cameras better. All right, let's talk some news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
So this is a real concern here. Let's move from the good to the bad. George Kittle left early with an ankle injury. I watched that replay a bunch of times before the press conference from George Kittle. The replay concerned me quite a bit because it was a situation where he tried to cut after the injury. He had tried to play through it, and that ankle just gave way. It just had no strength. He looked like he was in pain. Afterwards, he came and he talked about the injury. He said he believed he was hip drop tackled, which is like, I don't know, it feels like 98% of the ankle sprains in the NFL come from the hip drop tackle.
And broken legs.
That's supposedly illegal, but is never called.
They said they were going to.
They lied.
Yeah, but I mean, like every season, like, here's our point of emphasis.
Yeah.
And safety of the game, safety of the players. And they're doing nothing about it.
It must be a very difficult play to call.
They need to find people after the game. Like, maybe they miss it live because it's difficult, but to avoid future, if you find players afterwards for an illegal hip drop tackle, they're going to think about doing a hip drop tackle the next time that they're tackling someone.
What about like an eye for an eye? Somebody gets to hip drop tackle them afterwards. Maybe they'd avoid it.
Sure.
But he doesn't think he has a high ankle sprain. He is not a doctor, but he doesn't think he has one, and he's had enough of them probably. So
it's the situation where you're hoping he misses no games as opposed to 3.
Well, and it will still be in the back. No matter what happens progression-wise this week, it's going to be in the back of your head during the week if he plays, because it's a Sunday night game against the Bears.
He's got extra time, guys.
He does have extra time.
No, he's got less time because
I'm
Monday
saying
night.
compared to the Sunday afternoon.
The problem is if it's game time decision, you're going to be in a real pickle, and we're going to obviously talk through all of that. Do we have another Monday night game? We do right?
This, yes.
What's the Monday night game?
It is the Falcons-Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
So you could dance, right? You could go with Rams tight end or Tonjes.
Yeah, I was going to say McBasketball.
Into the night. Tonjes McBasketball.
Tonjes McBasketball is not a bad alternative option. He's been good in the absence of George Kittle.
And Brock Purdy is playing very well.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly hope. The worst case scenario is kind of playing through it and then getting hurt again. So
sure.
Maybe you'll get some practices and he'll be feeling good. It is George Kittle. He has been hurt a lot, and so that is a little bit of fear going into the week. He's been such a vital part of fantasy championship teams. DK Metcalf, the official suspension, 2 games for the sideline altercation. And far more significant for him, the suspension with conduct detrimental to the team, or in this case the league, it voids $40 million in future guaranteed money. He is appealing the suspension. He made claims about there being certain things said that provoked the actions. Then more video came out.
Little did he know people were recording.
Yeah.
We don't know if something happened outside
it's still
of that.
possible that things were said. They weren't captured on camera.
I thought that Chris Long on the Greenlight podcast had the best overall take about the situation, where it's like, you know, two things can be true, right? Like somebody could say something and deserve to get punched in the face for it, and you have to face the consequences for choosing to do that.
Right.
But the consequences are severe.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Not the suspension, but the fact that he voids his guaranteed money.
And there's always the chance that depending on the circumstances, the team doesn't do that or whatever else goes on. We don't know, but he's going to hurt his team right now because he's going to be out for 2 games, and they're going to have to play without him. Lamar Jackson, it's a significant contusion on the back. There was no other damage. It was a back bruise. He's considered day-to-day. We're talking waivers, streaming quarterbacks. You know, people had Lamar and Jordan Love, who's down with the concussion. There are, even in this week, decisions to be made at the quarterback position that can make a difference. And I won championships with Alex Smith on a pivot going into the title because somebody got hurt, and it works out, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had been riding Marcus Mariota to the championship. I'm in that boat where I will have to scoop someone up off of waivers.
You are the only person that said I have
Mariota's
been
pretty good.
No, but the expression,
Yes.
I've been riding Marcus Mariota.
Well, I had Jaden Daniels, lost him. Then I had Mariota, lost him. We'll see.
Yeah, you made no other
Snoop
accommodations
Huntley.
for that team?
I didn't
Okay.
need to. I had Mariota.
Thank you. Josh Allen day-to-day with the foot injury he suffered and had x-rays on during the game against the Browns. Expected to play on Sunday against the Eagles. Gardner Minshew did not tear his ACL, but he was placed on injured reserve. It was some sort of confusing fracture. Tibial something fracture.
It's so great because I saw some people be like, oh, it's not serious. And then some people go, this is super serious. So
Yeah,
whatever. He's
but
on
not an
IR.
ACL. Day-to-day for Kamani Vidal. He was injured. He did not have a lot of opportunities.
So smooth.
Omarion Hampton looks primed to help in your championship week after having a nice week last week. Week.
Yep.
Week. Mariota did not practice but hasn't been ruled out. Rashee Rice still in the concussion protocol from all of the car accidents he keeps having on the field. Jordan Mason, J.J. McCarthy didn't practice. Aaron Jones limited. And Amon-Ra St. Brown did not practice with the knee. This is a big one. Dan Campbell is hopeful. It's just irritation from yesterday's game, but they are a little bit concerned.
Yep. And we did recently just get a blurb that, so not that we didn't know, but confirming that Travion Henderson and Kayshon Boutte, they're both in the concussion protocol.
Which could mean big things for
Ramondre.
Ramondre
against the Jets is
On your opponent's team. Man.
Yeah, he's gonna if Henderson is gone, Ramondre
sometimes
could win.
He's gonna
weeks
he's
for
gonna
people.
eat, and
Sometimes
that
we
dude
leave-
knows how to eat.
Gosh, sometimes we leave stuff out about our league. Sometimes you guys say you want to hear about it. I will bring up the fact that Mike, in the title game, in our league of record, he will be going for a league record 4 titles, which would make me sad.
Make us all sad.
But
Well, not all of
the
us.
really wild thing about this is the player he is facing is a team that traded Mike, Burrow, and Chase at the deadline, kind of hedging against, losing picks, wanted to have draft picks, and Mike traded Justin Jefferson away, which was the player that we thought might have a great end of the season, but then McCarthy didn't look good, and now it might be Brosmer. So Mike will be facing Justin Jefferson. He will be
Yes.
facing his
With Brosmer.
he will be facing his one of the players he hates the most, in Ramondre Stevenson.
Yes.
So, like, if Mike were to lose, the pain will be significant, and
The odds are low, but the entertainment would be sky high.
that's it. And we did want to talk a little bit about NFL playoff scenarios and motivations. This is the time of the year you want to be aware of it. This is why you have fantasy championship games in week 17 and not 18. If you're in an 18 league, which some of you are, we're still going to be here next week helping you begrudgingly. I will say that.
Oh, yeah, because we're done like normal people, and so we want you to be normal people too.
So we will every year. It's a PSA to convince your commissioner, or if you are the commissioner, change it to week 17. You don't want an entire season worth of fun defined by teams that are benching players and not motivated to play. But going into week 17, if you look at the AFC, essentially the good news is that basically everybody you care about cares about this week.
It's wonderful. And it's rare.
The 5 AFC teams that have clinched playoff spots, which are the Broncos, Patriots, Jaguars, Chargers, and Bills, all still technically have a shot at the number 1 seed in the AFC, which is wild. With 2 weeks left, obviously it'll be easier for others, but like Buffalo still, like, they still have a shot to win. They don't have I should rephrase that. Not everybody has a shot at the number 1 seed overall, right? But they have a chance to win the division or move up in seeding to correct that. But like Buffalo, if they win and New England loses, they win the AFC East, for example. So there are big opportunities here. Even in week 18, the Broncos and Chargers could be playing for the division. So you still have the Steelers, the Texans, the Colts, and the Ravens still in contention for playoff spots. They
have a chance. They got to get a little bit of luck and obviously have to win, but the Colts and Ravens are not eliminated.
Both the Texans and Steelers are on the road. They both clinch with a win, but the other side of things in the NFC, you have 4 of the 5 NFC teams that have clinched. They all have shots at the number 1 seed. That would be Seattle, Chicago, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. It seems likely that the Rams...
Not Philadelphia.
No, they could end up the number 2 or 3. I'm sorry. And then the Rams are likely the 5th or 6th seed. That's pretty much situated. Carolina and Tampa will be fighting for their lives. Like if Tampa wins out, I believe they win the division.
Well, yeah, because they've got another game against Carolina. So, I mean, Carolina winning out or Tampa winning out just assumes that they beat the other team. So it really comes down to that week predominantly. But Tampa, I mean, that's that's like probably the most interesting playoff seeding who gets in situation left.
And then the Lions still have to win their final two games, have Green Bay lose, but they're alive there. So anybody really concern you?
I don't think anyone concerns me. The 49ers being able to, like, if they win out, they're the number 1 seed, which is that surprising? I feel like the 49ers have not been talked about in that where you're like, hey, the Rams are the favorites. Forever the Rams in Seattle were the odds-on favorites for weeks and weeks.
It's surprising because while they're playing good, they're a well-coached team. They've got a lot of talent. I don't think they are seen as good as probably 2 other teams in their own division.
Right, but they could, if they went out, they are the number 1 seed in the NFC.
But part of that, similar to the situation with Tampa, is winning out includes a win over Seattle.
Sure.
So that's what would really do it is, Seattle versus the 49ers. That's not super fantasy. That's week 18. But that one will be a monstrous game for fantasy playoffs or for NFL playoffs.
All right. We'll move on. We've got waivers today. We've got streaming quarterbacks today. We'll get into your questions if we have some time. That was News and Notes sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. We'll take a break. We'll jump right in.
Welcome to the Waiver Wire.
All righty, running backs, guys. It's obviously Ramondre at the tippy top of this list.
He is the number 1 pickup of the week.
It's insane that he is pick-upable. It's just he's been a back that's had too much work on the season to be on waivers, and he's not on the majority of waivers, but certainly enough. Like 57% rostered, that's what blows my mind. I would just be so in love with a player like that to go into championship week.
Yeah, I mean, New England still trying to win their division. And if they win out and Denver loses one game, I think they get the number 1 seed. Like, it's all on the line. They obviously love Ramondre more than we do anyways. And then when Travion Henderson is dealing with the concussion, it's a very significant opportunity.
Come on back, Hendo. Come on, baby. we got to figure out. I feel like this year, maybe I'm just watching it closer. It's really been the whiplash. You know, these guys, because Hendo wasn't pulled down very hard. It just, the way he fell was, you know, the whiplash, back of the head slams into the ground. I feel like those have been the concussions, and those have been the ones where then guys miss. It's not where they're getting crushed.
Maybe they have fixed the old style of concussions with helmet technology, which has amplified the rear hit. I don't know, but I agree with you. It's anecdotal. It's just what you've been witnessing,
yes,
but it does seem like so many of them are the hit the back of your head on the field on a tackle.
Emmanuel Wilson, 48% rostered. Josh Jacobs, supposedly not out due to injury, but has been managing the swelling in the knee.
That situation's so weird.
He was 14 for 82 against Chicago, has Baltimore Saturday night game. Jason no longer has to sit here and stress out.
So what? Who cares?
Doesn't have to stress out about it.
The people care, Jason.
Yeah. I mean, it seems very similar to the last several weeks where Josh Jacobs is dealing with pain in the knee. They've got to decide whether he can play through it or not. TBD. He's played through it so far. Saturday night game, you've got to. It's actually nice that it's Saturday because you'll have a little bit of update. Similar to this last week when they played on Saturday, it was like, well, you've got time to pivot should he be ruled out as a game time decision.
I mean, we have 3 games on Christmas to remove players from the pool.
Well, that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up is it's like Emmanuel Wilson will get work no matter what. Doesn't matter Josh Jacobs, how healthy he is, he's going to be worked in. And then you have like lower ceiling starters like Michael Carter.
It's the Bengals.
Which looks good, but
the Falcons looked good too last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's just at the end of the day, it's Michael Carter.
Sure.
And so that's a tough. Do you take committee on a better team that you know is going to run the football a lot? They may not have Jordan Love. That is even more of an emphasis on the running game with Malik Willis. Or do you go with
man,
Emmanuel Wilson had 3 more carries than Michael Carter did. Michael Carter started, and it was a good matchup. So
Michael Carter was fine. I mean, he was 11 for 65, ran for 5.9 a carry, and against the Bengals defense, I think I would lean the Michael Carter direction.
I think so too.
The Chris Rodriguez start looks good as well. It's an opportunity for him against Dallas on Christmas. I think he's pretty interesting. He was in Week 16, 15 for 63 and a touchdown. So do you feel good about Carter or Rodriguez more?
Kroski did have a touchdown against Philadelphia on the ground. He only played on 20% of the snaps, so it was, I think, just kind of a fortunate timing situation for him. The Mariota does make a difference if he ends up being the quarterback over Josh Johnson. I think I lean the Carter side.
What are some other names at the running back position that you would?
I think Blake Corum he's still available in about 40% of leagues, and he is a guy that you can start right off the bat. I mean, you look at the last month, and he's scored 14 points, 25 points, 13 points, and 13 points. It's like this is a player that you can put in there. And then you do have, I know it would be lucky, crazy happening mid-game, but you also have the opportunity when you're starting any player like that, should something happen mid-game, to Kyren, all of a sudden, it's a monstrous, the opportunity here against Atlanta, you are over touchdown favorites at home. He's scored a touchdown or more in the last 4 games straight. I think Blake Corum is someone that's, it's taken me a while to be like, yeah, you can start him while Kyren is still great in his own right.
And then the kind of mystery situation, the mystery box of the weekend is the Cleveland Browns. You have the really unfortunate injury to Quinshon Judkins. Who will be the quarterback or the running back? For the Browns against Pittsburgh. Dylan Sampson has been out the past 2 weeks 2 weeks ago, it was a calf and hand injury. This week, it was labeled as a hand injury. We need more information on that, obviously, but Raheem Sanders would be a nasty boy who is up next. He was 11 for 42 against Buffalo.
There's also Travion Williams in that game, too.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yep,
Yes.
that is correct.
Both of them got some run. Wide receiver-wise, are you chasing the Parker Washington performance? 6 for 145 and 1, 10 targets. He's done this many times this year where the game plan just becomes a Parker Washington game plan. But since the bye week, wide receiver 20, 16, 12, and 3, and then 3 kind of disappearing acts, but always getting some targets.
Yeah, he's interesting, and the matchup against Indianapolis is very good. We saw that this week with Brock Purdy. It's tough because this last week, this was a Parker Washington week, but that came at the expense of Brian Thomas Jr., did nothing. The new money man over there did nothing. So Parker could be the guy that's last man out. Honestly, I think probably a better pickup. It's hard to say better pickup because
for Parker Washington, just a reminder of he's he's been active in the 2 previous games. The week before that, though, against the Colts, he was out with the hip injury. So while his snaps after the bye week, he was running in the mid-80s, gets hurt in week 13, misses the next week, and then it's kind of been a ramp up. So it
also was missing BTJ for some of those early games.
So it's I don't know for sure if you should expect 56% of the snaps or more for Parker Washington, but he is at least interesting Brock Purdy against this Colts team just threw 305, and Trevor Lawrence is playing incredible football. He is a worthy dart throw. Like, I wouldn't feel super confident putting him on my lineup, but I would also, at the same time, if I saw someone at Parker Washington in their lineup, I'd be a bit nervous about it.
Yeah, he is my number 1 pickup this week, Parker Washington, wide receiver. But I would throw 2 other guys out there that are close in Mac Hollins and Adonai Mitchell. Mac Hollins is kind of you need the booty has to stay concussed essentially for Mac Hollins to be worthy to throw into a championship roster. And then Adonai Mitchell, he's been pretty good. The quarterback play there is obviously the massive relying on a Jets quarterback at this point in the season. It doesn't feel good, but they're going to have to keep throwing the ball against New England, and he's their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, and then other names that you care about this week if you were in a pinch.
Josh Downs performed admirably. 9 targets, 5 for 65. They were running far more 11 personnel this past week, so he was getting on the field.
Is Alec Pierce not on here because of roster percentage?
Yes.
I wondered if
I'll go double check that.
Wonder if people had dropped him because of the Phillip Rivers acquisition.
It's very possible.
Because I think I would take Pierce over Downs just for those bigger plays.
Pierce is 60% rostered on Sleeper.
Okay, so that's right around that range. Yeah.
So, but he might be there. You can double check.
Yeah. It's gonna be a wild week if you need to fill in a spot due to injury. Jaden Higgins didn't really get much done. I don't think I'd be taking my shot on him or Adonai Mitchell because of Brady Cook, who they confirmed is the starter for New York for the final week. So that's going to be a heyday for the New England defense.
Yes,
the New England
defense.
The
Patriots DST is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Saw what the Saints just did.
Saw what Britton Strange just did.
Sure.
5 for 39 and a touchdown. He ran more routes than Parker Washington did. So that's a big play at the tight end position.
I think my number 1 tight end pickup, as gross as it sounds, is Taysom Hill.
Is it?
Taysom Hill, assuming that Kamara is still out.
He is always out.
Devin Neal is on IR. Taysom Hill can throw a touchdown. He can rush a touchdown. I know, he can
catch a touchdown.
Sure, he can.
He can throw it to himself.
The opportunities this last
legal?
year.
Yeah.
This last
like
week.
without it touching anybody, could you just throw it way up in the air and then go down and catch it?
Oh, that's
Would it
interesting.
count as a pass attempt and a reception, or just because if you bobble the ball, You know, it's,
What do you mean?
What are the rules about that? If you throw it and you catch it with,
Because, I mean, I used to do that in the backyard all the time. You throw it up
Oh,
really
yeah,
high,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you go catch it. Like,
I'm going to be honest. I feel like NFL defenders, they would get there. I don't think you could throw it.
Kyle says a quarterback cannot throw a forward pass to themselves without a tip.
okay.
Well, that's boring.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, who
so
cares?
So that's probably not going
Take
to
that
happen.
rule out. Let them try.
But last week, I mean, you had 12 rushing attempts. For 12 rushing attempts is like, that's a decent number for a running back. Goal line attempts, it's probably going to be, we thought it was going to be estimated because Taysom Hill had been deleted from this offense, but with the injuries at running back, they brought Taysom Hill back in. This is a matchup against Tennessee. I mean, he had 4 catches and 12 rush attempts. So at the tight end position, it feels like cheating.
It makes so much sense, but that would be terrifying. They've had running back injuries all year.
If I didn't have Strange, I think I'm with Jason on
Taysom?
that chance in a championship week because it was effective. They won the game handedly. They're playing Tennessee. You've got, I don't know. I think I'd do that over like the dependency I would have on Waller with Quinn Ewers, right? Or Tonjes getting worked into the game flow.
Tonjes would be a good pickup to me only for the George Kittle manager. What he represents without George Kittle is not worth like taking the shot, not know. Like if I'm needing a tight end in general, I'm not going after Tonjes hoping that Kittle is out.
I think that's kind of, I mean, A.J. Barner was 4 for 49 and a touchdown. He's always a touchdown opportunity. But I think that's kind of it for tight ends, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
We said it. Defensively, the Patriots.
There's so many good defenses.
Brady
this
Cook
week.
got sacked 8 times.
Yes, he did.
The Lions get to play against Mac Brosmer. That's really fun. The Saints defense has been very good. They're going on the road against Tennessee. The Cam Ward has looked, better and better, but he still takes a lot of sacks from all except the San Francisco 49ers.
Because you played them.
Correct.
It just hasn't been an amazing start to play teams against Tennessee lately. That's the third time.
Yeah.
That's the third time that they look like a perfect start for people to play, and they scored enough points. Cleveland was not a good start against them. So, New England, Detroit, the Saints, the Broncos obviously are heavily rostered. Jacksonville against Indy. Felt a little bit better about that before this performance by Phillip Rivers.
So then, did you
because it's in Indianapolis, so it's like that's lower on the list now.
The Jags are just the Jags are a Super Bowl defense to me. And then, how do you feel about Tampa against Quinn Ewers? Like the Tampa Bay defense is kind of whatever, but
I love playing against.
Seventh round rookies.
Yes, exactly. There's a difference between Cam Ward has started all year. He's a rookie, but he was the number 1 pick in the draft. We're at the end of his rookie season where he's playing the best that he's played so far versus the 7th round, 6th round type of rookies, the perennial veteran backups that are thrust into positions with injuries or benching ahead of them. Those are the guys this time of year I really want defenses playing against these hot trash quarterbacks. That's the recipe for success.
I can tell you right now, I think my almost upset is going to be Indianapolis winning that game at home against Jacksonville.
Ooh. Wow.
Divisional games are always, especially between those two teams. If you remember long ago, Indy was the perennial every year winner of that division. Jacksonville would be at the basement, and those games would be 2-point games. I think at home might be pretty interesting for Phillip Rivers. Last night's game, they were in it, and they really would have been in it more if their special teams with that fumble didn't set them behind the 8 ball to start the game. I mean, it was – I don't know. After beating Denver, things are really going good for Jacksonville. That's my initial thought there. But you can see all of the waiver wire rankings, other names as well, in all of these positions. If you go to the website, thefantasyfootballers.com, we want to get you ready for title time. And we'll talk some quarterbacks as well because the need might be out there.
It's real.
Full stream ahead.
Well, I'll kick us off because Andy was just talking about this as his almost upset because maybe Phillip Rivers can move the ball and score enough on the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. But Trevor Lawrence,
who is somehow
blew my mind.
available.
Yeah, he was 51% rostered. Where I was like, well, what? He's the quarterback 4 on the season. Since the bye, he's the quarterback 2. He's been on fire, but I understand it in the sense that he was on the road against the Broncos. People were like, well, if I'm not going to play him, maybe cut him. Look for your waiver wire in Indianapolis. I don't know if you watched the game last night, but Brock Purdy was okay. Again, Papa Josh, would you say Brock Purdy was pretty good against the Colts last night?
Yeah, he did okay.
Yeah, he did to you. So I would take Trevor Lawrence in that same matchup.
I think it goes Jason's, Mike's, and mine in the streaming quarterbacks.
Oh, really? You'd go. So I'm bringing up Shuck, baby. What's the song, Andy?
Gonna get Shuck tonight.
Look, I think he's good.
This is who I believe I'm playing against.
I think he might be good. And he's playing Tennessee. He's the QB8 over the last month with a floor of 18 points. So even when he wasn't in the top 12, he's still giving you 18. Should you be one of these teams where like, I have no quarterback to play? And Tennessee, over the last 5 weeks, 27th in schedule-adjusted points to the quarterback position. Like, even though Cam Ward's playing better, that might be even better for Tyler Shuck. Let's get a competitive game going.
You can go back to the well with Jacoby Brissett this week. The highest
yes, you can.
over-under of the week.
Yes, you can.
I have noticed the Cardinals are finally starting to not play hard for this loser of a head coach.
Oh, what a
Number 2.
You saw it on some of the routes, even by Michael Wilson, who gave up on one of the routes that an interception happened. You have Marvin Harrison disinterested in everything. Cardinals also just lost like tremendous defenders to long-term injuries, including starting cornerback Garrett Williams to an torn Achilles, Walter Nolan, IR,
Achilles
knee injury.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw
That got
reported
updated?
That's it should be knee injury.
Man.
And
I thought I saw Achilles.
I definitely saw that.
Poof.
I
hope.
Well, I saw knee, so
I've seen both, but I'll look.
they're
it up
different
for sure.
parts of the body.
They are very different.
It
But
says knee injury according to what I'm looking at
Both
right
leg.
now.
Okay.
Carted off with knee injury.
Non-contact knee injury.
Yeah, which is better.
Long term it is. Long term it is, yeah.
So highest over under of the week. Jacoby can get it going again. You know the pass attempts will be crazy. This game in and of itself is going to be wild. Arizona's averaging 38 pass attempts per game. Cincinnati 37. 53.5 point over under. Did you fist pump, Mike?
No, that was
I
me.
thought that was you fist pumping.
No, that was me clearing my throat.
Burrow.
I mean,
and
I
Chase.
will fist pump playing all of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. The
Yeah, guess who I have to play against in the championship and listener league, Mike?
Who's that?
Chase Brown.
Oh, you remember that guy?
Who just murdered my soul in League of Record.
he will do it again.
He
will
definitely
do it
will.
again.
I'm just gonna say this. I hate Chase Brown. Nothing
Oh.
personal.
Talking about my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winning leagues.
Yeah, that's funny. You've got Mike's got triple Cincinnati dependency, and it should work out really, really well against Arizona. Where's that game at?
It's in
Cincy.
Arizona. No, I thought it was in
really?
Arizona.
That would be even better.
I mean, of the
Controlled
options we gave
environment?
both- Oh no, it's in Cincinnati. I apologize. Jason was right.
All right. I always apologize when Jason's
gosh.
right.
What's the weather?
I knew it was coming to your mind. Weather's going to be a story too, potentially.
Slight chance of rain, 11-mile-an-hour winds, 50 degrees. We're okay.
Yeah, no,
That's
we'll take
fine.
that.
Yeah, because the weather guy's always right on Tuesday. That's what they're known for. A week ahead.
They can be.
Oh my goodness. We'll take a break. We'll do some mailbag.
All right. We are in the heart of the fantasy season, and the injuries are already piling up. ACLs, stingers, and turf toes, oh my. In fact, the only thing right now that feels good is having the perfect backup ready to go. So wouldn't it be great if you had a perfect backup in real life too? With Progressive, you get more than just a policy. You get a playbook full of coverage options that you can count on for your home or for your auto. You want to customize your protection? No problem. You can build your coverage just like your fantasy team, making sure you got the right players in every position and a backup plan when you need it most. And when life throws an audible, like that fumble in the driveway or a hailstorm at home, Progressive is there with 24/7 support. Don't get caught without a great backup. Visit Progressive.com to quote today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party issuers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to term, policy, limits, and conditions.
Let's do it.
Mailbag.
All right, if you got a question, we got answers. You can find us over on Twitter at the FF Ballers. You can click the submit a question button on the website, thefantasyfootballers.com. You can leave us a voicemail, 302-464-TFFB. First question from Jake in Texas.
This is great.
Did you read it?
Yeah.
No, I haven't read it. I made it to the championship in one of my leagues, and since everyone knows I'm extremely superstitious, most of the league has changed their team names to Your Fantasy King and updated their logos to different pictures of me. Any ideas on how to break the league-wide jinx?
You got to join them.
Yeah, I think that's the answer.
You change your name to Your Fantasy King, and you put your favorite picture of yourself up there, and you accept it. You accept this. You're a superstitious man. Turn it from a jinx into, a blessing.
I remember a long time ago, Mike and I had faced each other in 3 consecutive championships.
Those were the dark days.
Those were the dark ages for Jason.
For everyone else.
And I remember every week I would change my team's logo to like a really nice picture of Mike's best player.
Yes, and you would like do an animated GIF, and it'd be all shiny.
Yeah, I did that for every team I faced, and it worked until I faced Mike.
Yeah.
And then it didn't work anymore. But
you got to lean
I like
in.
that idea. Ray in Boston writing in, my commissioner made a change to our playoff structure at 7 p.m. on Sunday, the 21st of December,
What?
to reseeding, causing me to lose this week's matchup. Should this be allowed? Is this an all-time commissioner foul, or am I overreacting?
Depends on
Love
the league.
the show. Hate this league now.
Depends on the league.
What?
If this league is established as a dictatorship, and this was before the
I
matchups.
don't agree with
or
that
whatever.
at all.
I'm just saying sometimes leagues are like, hey, I am saying this is what our rule is for the playoffs. We're going to reseed. If that's how the league is always run, then whatever. Don't be in that league if you don't want to play in one of those. Outside of that one very specific and very rare world, this is an all-time no. You cannot do anything in season without a league-wide vote and everyone basically agreeing, yeah, we should reseed.
If the commissioner just said, I am the king, I'm doing this, but you did it before the playoffs started, I can live with that decision over here. It's like, okay, everyone knows no one has played a playoff game yet, but we're going to reseed. To do it,
Yeah.
This is 2 days ago in the middle of the playoffs.
to do it in the middle of the playoffs is incredibly suspicious, and
Yeah.
it seems like a commissioner saw an opportunity to get a better matchup.
Did you say 7 p.m. Sunday?
Wait, you can't do that.
Wait.
That's after games have
I mean,
played.
Wait, what?
I mean, it would be one.
Oh
it
my
would,
gosh! No,
it-
this is.
It would be.
Hold on.
It would be even 1 degree less bad if it happened on Tuesday last week before the semifinal matchups. Yeah, it's whatever. But you
They're already
changed it.
competing.
That's why. See what he said.
That's insane.
Causing me to lose this week's matchup.
That's
So you were in a matchup.
you got to undo it.
I got a drop for you, Commissioner.
Number 2.
Ray in Boston.
Foul.
Leave that league.
Hey man,
Disgusting.
I am so sorry that you invested the entire year. You were excited for this league. You have received. You got to go glass half full here. Of you, this person has revealed themselves.
Yeah.
This is a turd.
Yeah.
This is a turd of a human.
Don't drink
And-
that glass.
Can you
and-
imagine?
And just get out
Let's
of
just
there.
play this out. Like
That's
you guys
insane.
you're in the middle of, remember, 7 p.m. Sunday. So this is after Sunday night games or during them.
This is after the
Imagine your matchup this week.
the Packers game, the Packers Bears.
I mean, I would have loved this to happen in our listener league because I would have been in the championship game. Just that's what I'm going to do as a commissioner. If it's not working out, I'm going to flip the matchups.
I mean, you
Every
could
week.
You could have done this in the League of Record, and I would have won regardless.
You scored 209 points.
You set the all-time record, right? Is that correct?
Of since we've moved to the sleeper platform, yes.
That is insane.
Did you look that up?
No,
Jeremy
actually,
did.
yeah, it was being discussed.
Matt pulled up our league
Yeah.
history.
And you benched
I was
Jalen
previously
Warren.
crowned, and Mike took my crown.
Benched Jalen Warren.
Yeah, I did.
Would have
Yeah,
scored
could
more.
have had 20
You had
points.
35 on your bench.
I just hope you saved some.
He did. His
Yeah.
team is so good.
I hope I did too.
Um,
George, ice up.
oh, Kittle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time you say George, it's Pickens to me.
Oh,
That's
also
all I-
him. Pro Bowler, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that.
George Pickens.
George
yeah.
Pickens.
Yeah,
Pro
yeah, the
Bowler.
Pro Bowlers came
Very
out-
well-deserved
Came
Pro
out
Bowler.
this morning. Drake May, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert at quarterback in the AFC.
That's a good group.
Just saying.
Sam Darnold, one of the 3 Pro Bowler NFC quarterbacks.
George Pickens.
Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold.
George Pickens, character problems for Pittsburgh.
Oh, I know. That was the first thing I thought was like
Turns
Pickens
into
coulda-
a Pro Bowl wide receiver.
Pickens could have hit someone in
And
the
their
crowd.
guy that they picked just might have had his money voided. That is horrific irony.
I've noticed watching Pittsburgh games, and one of the reasons I think we've had a hard time, and everyone listening, they always think we're against Pittsburgh because they beat us in the Super Bowl, which is right. But man, the combined grimaces of the Tomlin plus Rodgers perma grimace, perma angry. I mean, these guys hate football. That's the way it feels.
Tomlin loves football.
Oh, you still defend
Yeah,
Tomlin
absolutely.
forever?
He's a great
It's
coach.
kind of hard not to. They're gonna. I mean, some things went
Show
very
me a
favorably.
smile between those two guys every week. Goodness gracious.
Well, I mean, Bill Belichick didn't really ever smile.
No, and he's a loser.
Well, I guess he has revealed himself as well.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew in New York City, Joe Burrow or Jacoby Brissett for the title. Same game. Think you play Burrow there, guys.
Yep.
I'd go Burrow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's you just hope Brissett also has a good game because you want that game to be very, very fun.
I would like a fourth quarter, please.
No, you don't. You don't want a fourth quarter. If they sit
You know what?
him,
You know what?
You don't want a fourth
I'll take
quarter.
the 40 points without a fourth quarter.
yeah,
you are right.
exactly.
Logan in Greenville, South Carolina. In a double flex championship game, I have Kyren and Corum. Given the favorable matchup against Atlanta, would you start both? I'd be fine with it. I would be totally fine with it.
I don't know what your other options
Yeah,
were,
that's what makes the question impossible.
But if you had to do this because you're just like, no, it's just doo-doo that I could start, then maybe just
you know how
claiming all the running
relaxing
back
and
points.
nice that will be every time they're on the goal line.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, right
Especially
now
with,
it's
if Devontae,
stressful.
if Devontae Adams is out, yeah. With Devontae Adams there, you're like, oh man, don't do it.
Yeah, and he's not going to play.
No, he's not.
Yeah. We have a big show tomorrow. Just so you guys know what the schedule's like the next couple of weeks with the holidays. Christmas is Thursday. We do have a show tomorrow on Christmas Eve. It will include all the content from Wednesday and Thursday. It'll be a little mini mag.
Christmas Ladon.
Christmas Ladon. It'll have backup option starts of the week, all of our matchups for the Christmas Day games and the Saturday games. We'll take Thursday off for Christmas, and we will have a Friday show as championship week, so we do not want to let you down. We will have all the Sunday games on Friday. We'll have the fantasy face-off and a glorious Wheel of Shame.
Because it's not
Because
you.
it's not me this
Yeah.
week, which feels so great. But and then next week for New Year's for Week 18, we'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll get through all the normal content.
That one's a real mega.
That's the true mega on Wednesday. Thank you, Mike. New Year, the last mega of
2025.
2025. And so that'll be, and then we'll have Friday, Thursday, Friday won't have new shows. So there'll be a Megalodon next Wednesday. So we'll be here for you Week 18, nurse. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I got there. At first I heard nerds.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, he didn't say that. And then I said, oh,
You
he
hear-
called them wieners.
Yeah, it did sound more like that.
Which, yeah,
Week
take that.
18.
Take that, Week 18ers. All right, that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. JoinTheFoot.com is the fantasy football community. We're here year-round. Become a Foot Clan member and hang out with us. Bonus episodes all off season. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.